Hey everyone, it's the Villains Man, bringing you session 18 of the Ancient War Reborn. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving break.
Yeah.
I'm your DM, JVD.
Hey guys, I'm Evan the Great from the Villains Man, playing Luda Silverstring, the Elven Bard / Paladin. I ate a bunch of turkey and then I went with 1,000 people that I hate, and I went to work.
I'm the Bearded Wonder with the Villains Demand, and I'm playing Vesper Nord, the Moon Elf Rogue. And I went Black Friday shopping, and you were there because you were working.
Yeah, one person I like.
Oh, that's how you are.
Good times.
What about Carrie?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Carrie, if you're watching this, it's not true.
I'm Smiley, playing Order Dwight Hammer. And I worked 60 hours through Black Friday, did not get any turkey, I was rather depressed.
Oh, that sucks.
I know, right? I brought you a plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
I was at Black Friday, man.
You were.
So.
But apparently I'm not someone that Evan likes, so.
Oh, that's very true.
Cancer turkey.
Let's play Rolling Ivor.
So, as we last left off, got some pretty interesting stuff going on. Smiley, give me the recap.
We made it to the Temple of the Allfather, or the Eye of the Allfather,
Either or.
where we were assailed by brigands that were dumb shits that thought a baby dragon was a god that I put down. And then we attempted to solve the riddle of the portal and nearly killed ourselves and refused to stop and nearly killed ourselves again and then again, and then we gave up.
And we still almost died.
Yeah, we decided to take a nap and got hit by a rock. So we ran from the nap. So we decided to find this axe that belonged to the statue of this frost giant. Thorum, I believe his name was. We found the axe and a Remoraz. And Vesper went down. He got swallowed.
No, the first time she went down.
Not by any means.
First time she probably got swallowed.
Oh!
She has altered self. But recovering the axe, we solved the riddle of the portal, and we just entered through.
Okay, so Harshnag takes the axe, and like I said, he touches the portal. The fog swirls, thunder, lightning, you hear rain, and he walks through the archway. Who goes through first?
Oh,
Roland beats you to it. You're second.
I'll follow.
Okay, Rusia right behind you,
Yeah.
and then Luda follows up the rear. Luda, roll me a perception hearing.
That's what I was going to do. I was going to look around before I went in.
Okay.
If that's where you want.
No, that's fine.
17.
Mm-mm. Now you can look once you're in the room, but this is for something different.
Okay.
As you enter, beyond the thundering archway lies a hexagonal chamber whose walls rise 50 feet before tapering to a 90-foot high apex. Standing in each corner of the room is a life-size statue of a giant holding up a heavy iron lantern with one arm raised. Each type of giant is represented. A cold magical light radiates from each lantern, illuminating a giant corpse lying on the floor beneath a shroud of frost in the middle of the room. The corpse looks like it has been here for some time, preserved by the cold. Next to the body rests a giant, frosted morning star.
What kind of giant corpse is it?
You're going to go to inspect it?
Sure.
What's everybody else doing?
I'm just following Harshnag's lead.
Well, he steps in. His first thing is to do like Roland does, who's right behind him, is go inspect this corpse. So I guess you're going to do it with him, Vesper?
I'll check it out too.
Okay, what about you, Ludo? You did mention something about checking out the room.
I'm going to turn my back to the party and watch the rear where we came in at.
You can see into the Temple of Anam, the All-Father of Giants, and you can just look into the room and it just swirls around. You're basically looking to your first portal ever.
Okay.
You can stand watch if you want. You don't have to.
I'll probably go with them, but I'm going to be more like...
Well, this room is fairly small.
Okay.
I mean...
I'll go with them then.
It's a good 100 by 100 feet. I mean, it's pretty good. That's small size for giants, really. You know, it's a good size room. You go to inspect the corpse. Harshnag goes over to like grab it by its armor to kind of flip him over. Roland, what are you doing?
Basically, I'm just trying to see what kind of giant it is.
That's what he's about to show you.
So I'm gonna wait for
Okay.
him to.
I'm waiting for the big reveal.
Vesper?
I'm just waiting.
He rolls it over, and as he does, you've encountered one of these before on a cloud castle. It's a cloud giant, but when he does, the spirit of it slowly rises out before you. And he, startled, jumps back and like picks his axe up off the floor. And the spirit just looks, and he doesn't look threatening.
I will say, in my broken giant, greetings. Greetings.
Harshnag will do the same with you, but it's more clear because he is a giant. He tells you, I am Irgon. He says, how long have I been here?
I have not the bloodiest idea, to be honest. We just discovered you like this.
If somebody wants, they can try to roll survival on his body.
That's -1, 15.
So,
Not even gonna tell you what I got. It's
Yeah,
so bad.
okay.
What about a medicine check on the body? Would I be able to tell that way too?
Is it 15?
That might help you decide how he died, which
Yeah, I'm
is
sure.
very obvious by the sword wounds in his back.
Yeah, I found sword wounds in his back.
Um,
Apparently his back's
Was
stabbed.
15 enough?
It's not enough to give you an exact time, but you do know based on how preserved his body is and how cold it is in here, he's probably been dead for a couple months.
I'd say at least a couple of months. Could it be longer?
He asks, he looks at Harshnag, what brings you to the Oracle of the Allfather? And he says, tells him answers for why the ordning's broken. And he said, I come here with my father once to find the same. He said, my father was not pleased with what the Oracle told us. And Harshnag asked him, what did the Oracle tell you?
speaking in giant, or
This is all in giant.
so I barely understand it.
He he tells you that him and his father had come here when they felt the ordning break. They told my father he had no hand to play in the future, but I was to step out from his dark shadow and help lead the armies in the coming war. Blinded by rage for not being able to participate, my father attacked me and killed me.
Hey, what was his name?
He tells you Blagothkus.
So why did his father kill him?
Jealousy.
The Gothicus?
Because they picked
Blah,
him to lead.
B-A-L, goth, like hot girls, cuss.
So they picked the son to lead instead of the father.
Harshnag tells him, I'm sorry for your father's treachery. It is not a noble act for a father to turn its back on its own child. And the ghost nods. He says,
If we can, we'll try to set this right.
you're talking to him, you say that, and he said, please. He says, and by accepting such a thing, he said, take my gifts from me. When he does, he kind of motions down to his body.
I nod to him.
Anybody?
You want a proper
I'll
burial?
look at it.
He's got extremely nice breastplate on. In his hand, he has something clutched.
I'll go over there and kind of look at him.
Um,
And
Try to.
try to open his hand.
his hand is froze solid. I mean, it's, and a Harshnag does what he can to mend
Is
his
there
fingers back.
metal around his hand? Is that like a gauntlet?
No, actually, no. The only metal he wears is actually, he's got like bracelets and stuff on, but his armor, his breastplate, and
I can cast heat metal on a bracelet to try to thaw out the hand a little bit.
Vesper, Harshnag reaches down and helps you and kind of pries his fingers and kind of snaps one off, and he looks at him, the body tells him, I assure you, I feel nothing anymore. And he pulls out his hand and there's an opal. One of the rooms that was around the archway you entered is on this room, is on this opal. And so Ghost tells him, is the opal of cloud giants, the Ild. That's I-L-D. There for you, Smiley, since you're He says, but please use this and whatever you need for my body. I just only ask that you avenge me.
Hey, we'll do everything we can.
And then boom, thunder and lightning cuts you off ward. And in this loud booming voice, you hear giant. The spirit kind of shrinks back and fades away as it does. You understand broken giant now. You kind of understand that this voice says, speak now, ask the All-Father, and I shall answer.
Roland will take a knee.
Huh?
Roland will take a knee.
As you do, I was going to say Harshnag takes a knee as well.
I'll take one with him.
Yeah.
In the back of my head, I'm
I follow
wondering.
suit.
Is there a limit to how many questions we get? It's like a 2 per person, 3 over the door.
Harshnag, okay.
I'm gonna let
Harshnag has a list of questions he's going to ask.
I'm gonna let Harshnag ask questions, because we're not giants, so I know.
Now, well, that's true. But, would it be inappropriate? Maybe. This is a temple dedicated to his kind.
We have shown them respect so far.
You have shown a great deal of respect being here. I mean, you helped him try to organize a couple things and whatnot. Now, you can, as a whole, get together and decide what questions you want to ask. If not, I have a bunch of questions here that he's going to ask, unless you guys decide any other questions you want to ask. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to go through these, and I know how many I can ask. So if I run out and you waste your time, then you don't get to ask anything.
I know the most important question
About the ordinary.
for Harshnag is why was the ordinary broken?
That is actually the first question. Why did Anam break the ordning?
And then I want to know if the coat is playing, it has a play in this.
Okay. Okay. Any questions you guys decide as a whole you want to ask, write down. So you guys brainstorm amongst yourself.
Okay, so why is the ordinance broken?
Okay.
Repaired.
Mhm.
That's,
Okay, can it be repaired? That's a separate question.
that's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
so-
I'm discussing it with them to see if they agree that that should be asked.
Yeah.
Broken. I really want to ask if the coat has something to do with it, or has what if the coat is at play here? If Tiamat specifically is at play here.
Does the breaking of the ordering have anything to do with Tiamat?
There we go.
That'll be part of why is the one broken though.
I would almost think if that question is a yes or no, we'll span our
But-
questions into a different direction.
Don't be afraid to write any question. I mean, because if you gather questions, you need to decide like what order you want to ask them in, because I'm not telling you how this plays out.
Right.
But I mean, you guys develop a list, order them, and then based on what you get, you tell me what you're wanting to ask, and then I've got what he's going to ask, and then you guys can kind of consolidate here.
I think if they ask,
What part does the followers of Tiamat play in this?
well, if Tiamat had a play in the
Well,
breaking
Tiamat's
of the
dead,
ordinary.
right? So it'd be the followers.
No, she's not. She's just not here.
So, if we learn something about Tiamat and the reason why the ordering was broken question, then we can just scrap that question altogether. Right?
Well, my
If you do that,
question
that
was,
might-
is Tiamat at play here?
That might not give the proper answer.
Yeah, but that would be the same Matt involved in the.
Yeah, that's a double entendre question. That's why I
Yeah.
put it that way.
I think all the other
So that way we
questions
get an answer.
still span off if what that answer is.
You have one?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Are the fire giants building a weapon?
Yes. The fire giants are most definitely building a weapon.
They-
They took a giant sword.
I know one person here that does know.
Yeah.
Me.
That's
I know
been
what's
my
going on.
You're not
I know what's
here.
going on with everything. I am here. I'm the voice that's speaking to you right
The
now.
voice of reason.
That's right. I'm the voice of an the All-Father right now.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, what did you just ask if Or needed to shave his beard?
No.
And in real life.
Purpose. What was yours?
You already had it.
Oh, I did.
About TMA.
Oh.
Now, Harshnag does have questions of his own that he wishes to ask, so we shouldn't use up all the questions. This is basically his journey.
Roland, if you feel that way, would you much rather him ask the questions he has planned instead of you guys mingling with
I
him
would
to get
rather him
questions?
start.
Oh, I would start blasting off questions immediately as soon as I get a chance.
Well, hey, is that your character? And when he said this, if that's the first thing you want to do it.
Like I'll let
You play-
Harshnag
you play
start,
you.
and then I'll start talking. Will the giants aid against the dragons?
I just really want to know about the cult. If they're
I know that's
involved.
Orin's main. That's
That's
why
the
he came
biggest
here.
thing.
Like he was wanting to find out about the cult.
Anything else, Harshnag probably has covered in his questions.
So how many questions you looking at right now?
We have a total of 5, including the warning.
Okay, well, when you're done, make sure you put them in an order. Like your most important to your least important.
Well, the ordering is the most important.
I was
Right
making
now.
time that too.
The artifact question probably too, or TMAC too.
I'll put T in that too. Because that's more relevant. Like the artifact thing is important, but we may never see that come to fruition. Or maybe we will. Who knows what Justin's gonna throw at us?
I think the artifacts are just gonna,
It happens.
it's gonna
Um,
tie into Tiamat, if it's all true.
Will the giants aid against the giants?
oh shit.
I was like, that question
So
makes no sense.
does that mean like the New York Giants are going to help the San Diego Giants or San
Yes.
Francisco Giants? My bad.
That's absolutely it.
Because God knows the New York Giants need help.
Will the giants aid us against the dragons? Is that 3 or can it be repaired? I feel like can it be repaired is a yes once this is over, or yes once they do what we need them
Or we
to
can
do.
rephrase the question to how can it be repaired?
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, how can it be repaired? Because if you say can it be repaired, they'll just say yes.
Yeah. How can it be repaired? I'm pretty sure that the offer will be like, when I'm damn well pleased with it, that's how. That's what my answer would be.
All right.
Fuck you, dwarf.
Is that your list of questions?
Yeah, I think
So
so.
will the giants aid us be 3?
I still think the artifact is, well, yeah.
Well, if we fix the ordering, the artifact probably doesn't matter as much.
If they're going to help us, then that artifact is our weapon as well.
Right.
In order, what our questions are planning to be are why is the ordering broken? First question.
I'm not worried about your order because this is
I'm
going to
worried about
get
it.
interesting.
Alright.
Harshnag.
Okay.
And Harshnag was.
You want Harshnag to ask the first question, correct? Luda, are you still watching the portal?
Mm-hmm.
All
That's
right.
gonna blink close or we're all gonna die here.
How long do you think it took you to talk amongst yourselves? It's important.
It took us like a real lifetime, like 2 minutes.
Yeah, but I'm talking in game though.
So probably like,
A word would have put a lot of thought in this, so I would say it would take about the same.
2 minutes?
Yeah.
That's a lot of thoughtful word.
Well, I mean, you put a lot of thought into it. he put a lot of thought coming up here. He was planning this out.
Wes, you got your dice right there. Roll me 2d10. Add 2 minutes.
87, 89.
89, so 8 and 7, 15. We're at 17 minutes now.
There you go.
I'll tell you fixing it. 89 minutes. I'm like, holy
Okay.
shit. I'll follow your left.
So, you want Harshnag to ask the first question,
Yes.
correct? Harshnag, in Giant, he asks, why did Anam break the ordning? He answers him, to rouse his children from their complacency. Their ancient enemy is set to take over the world.
There's the answer, Tiamat.
Didn't I say dragons?
Tiamat's rising up. Their ancient enemy is
Ord
dragons.
asks.
How many times have you heard ancient enemy of the dwarves and giants in this game?
Ord asks, is it Tiamat?
You just blurt this question out.
Yes.
As you blurt this, Luda, you're set to back portal. One of the giant statues with its lantern lit behind them they can't see goes out as soon as the answer to the first question is asked.
I see one of the lanterns go
Now,
out.
you look, there's 5 more. You blurt this one out.
Yeah.
You hear in Giant, the Queen of Dragons comes to rise to take over the world.
Do I hear, whenever they ask that, I see it go out?
You see another one.
Do I hear the questions?
Yes.
Yes, because it's a big thundering
Yeah.
voice that answers them
Vesper Ord
as
at the
they
same time.
ask.
Fucking knew it!
I come sliding
You
in.
see another one in the back go out, Luda.
I see you got 2 questions left.
Harshnag asks,
You hear Luda yell this.
I thought we only used
5.
2 out of 6.
you have used 2 out of 6. He's used last one. Harshnag asks, how do I restore the ordning?
Awesome.
He says, for you to find the missing king. You, Luda, one of the lights around you guys now to your side goes out.
We
Silence is what Harshnag tells you.
Do the same thing I did.
good call.
He asks, how can I find King Hikaton? The oracle answers him, none can find Hikaton. Now, if you want to interject, you're going to have to roll persuasion with Harshnag.
We want to ask this one, right?
I just want to.
So that's 4.
Can I ask Harshnag a question without?
If you are
We
addressing
want to ask.
someone, yes, you can ask. But if you just ask a question without addressing someone,
Okay.
it's going to count as a question.
I will say Harshnag. This question's for you.
He says, this bud's for you.
Yeah. I'll be like, do you think if we restore the ordning that the giants will come together and aid us in the defeat of Tiamat?
He tells you, I do not know. The hill giants had their own reasoning for the ordning. Says, Ergon's was obviously here and was given a different reason. It's like, I do not know.
Harshnag, you know that we fight against Tiamat's court. If we save the Sekaton, will he aid us against it?
Says, he's a good king. I believe he will. But obviously no one knows where he's at.
Could we?
Then whatever it takes for you to find Hekaton, I'll be beside you.
Yeah, my vital down.
That's a lie.
You have me,
Sorry.
Colin.
Okay, now, I know you've got some questions. You have 2 to ask. He has 3. So if you want to ask a question, you're going to have to try to persuade him.
I feel like we should let him talk.
We
He's
need to
probably
locate
gonna-
Bargothicus, if at all possible.
He says, why? I understand the misfortune of this young cloud giant, but to ask of someone else who plays no importance to what's going on, do not believe that to be a waste.
Because we gave out a what?
What did you just ask him, sorry?
Roll me a persuasion.
Oh, we thought we'd help if we could. Damn. that's pretty good.
17.
What did he ask?
17?
Hmm?
17 plus.
Where it is?
Some persuasion, so that's 22.
Oh, where it was.
That's good enough. Harshnag asks the Oracle, where can we find Blogothus? The Oracle tells him, past the forests of large expanse, through the mountains of gray, and there you will find a small town, and you will find the murderous Cloud Giant.
The vast expanse over the mountains of gray in a small town. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
You have one more question to ask,
What's Harshnag's?
and I know what he's
It's his
going.
question. It's Harshnag's
Harshnag's
question.
question.
Make it count.
He asked, how do I reach the court of the king?
The Gaunch.
It's exactly what the Oracle tells him. You know, you already have the way to reach the king. Just blow it to the conch. And as you do, all these lanterns have went out, and the only thing that glows in here is Harshnag's axe.
And we got the Cloud Giant's breastplate. His detect magics.
The opal glows
Yeah.
that Harshnag has taken, and the breastplate glows. As you're checking it, and the voice just echoes out in the distance with its last answer, Aragon's ghost reforms, and he looks at you, Ord. He says, "Thank you."
They gave me what?
And you see him. He says, "Please take what you need and set me to rest."
That's exactly what I was gonna ask.
What's
Ask
the AC on
Harshnag to
breastplate?
help us get in the proper burial.
14 plus, 2
He will.
weeks.
I did. Here, that's it.
Roland asked Harshnag for a proper burial for the Aragon, in which he had planned on doing. So,
Ditto.
Roland, Ward, give yourself an inspiration. Luda, you've been on watch during all this. Roll me a perception.
13.
Time has passed. You get about a minute per question. You've kind of been deciding on questions to ask. You've been talking to Harshnag. As you're looking around, you notice as time passes, this portal in here to the temple grows smaller and smaller. And it's nearly half the size it was when you first came in.
So
You mentioned this?
No.
we got the
Not kidding.
breastplate. We got the opal. We got the anchors.
I'm gonna tell you guys, we gotta get out of here.
Are you gonna-
Get locked in?
You did take magic. I told you the opal and the armor glow. Are you going to
Yeah.
identify any of this? Or are you going to wait?
When we get out,
Yeah, we should.
All right.
I'm taking it with because that's usually when we make up camps. Once I start identifying shit to keep them pulling shit up.
All right. Harshnag will strap his great axe to him, and he'll lift the body up. You know, Christ on Infinite Earth style, Superman, Supergirl. And he will carry the body out of the temple. Oh, yeah, out of the Oracle's room into the temple.
And we'll follow.
To follow.
I get saying giant to the Oracle if it's still there to hear. Methinks.
You're all here, and Harshnag is picking up the body. Does anybody leave before as he's doing this, or do you let him go out first?
I leave. I was thinking that I'd leave with him.
Okay.
I leave last, it's like I came in last.
Okay, so you're letting him go out first?
Mhm.
Okay.
Four times up.
Okay, I'm going to assume that it's the same order as you came in. Roland and Ord, Vesper and Augustier, then Luda, right? As you guys leave, you see Harshnag flinch as soon as he walks out of the portal. Everybody can go ahead and roll me a Constitution save.
So that's 8. Can you use my thingy? It's a fancy
Rolling.
13.
Huh?
13.
Orton,
18.
what do you got, Vesper?
Oh God.
I bet I got lower than
So
her.
I got 16,
I don't know about that.
and Augusti got a 4.
I got a 3.
All right, so Roland, Orvustier, and Luda. You guys all walk out, and as you do, you hear the thunder and the lightning and the rain, though there's none in here. But as soon as you guys step out, you hear this this loud horn with this deep, constant note. And like I said, as you guys walk out, you see him flinch, and he kind of stumbles. You all guys do the same. As soon as you walk out, you're stunned for one round. But it really affected Roland, and it affected Luda, it affected Arvusio, and you suffer one level of exhaustion until this horn stops blowing. And then, I mean, it just vibrates through this whole temple.
What does it mean in D&D terms? I don't think I've ever had to deal with that.
You have disadvantage on skill checks.
Okay.
And I think maybe attack rolls.
It's attack rolls too. Unless they changed it.
Disadvantage on ability checks, one level of
Is
exhaustion.
it village? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, in Harshnag, what is that? And you guys are trying to put your hands to your ears, and this thing is just, it's almost like you would think like a tuba. It's just an extremely low, deep, dark note.
Or looks out as going, it's not so loud, really.
And you're speaking very loudly.
It's not that bad, guys. It's not that
Trust
bad.
me.
Come on.
I'm gonna look around for the
Slap
source.
or boost
Would that
it.
be
You can't see it anywhere in here. What you find odd, Roland, as you're looking around, is the doors of this place are closed. But yet it clearly sounds
Something closed.
extremely loud in here. They closed because Snurk tried to run away.
Right.
The door shut on him.
I thought they closed last session.
What do you guys want to do? You want to bury this body? Do you want to continue looking around this place? You've kind of looked at everything.
I'm gonna
I say we just
try to open the door.
GTFO. Yeah.
Because, like, we need to bury the body. We can't do it inside of here.
Okay, you open the doors, and this thing is just as loud, the sound inside, as it is outside.
Can I roll any kind of thing to see what kind
I
of
would like to
instrument
leave
this
an
is?
offering to the giant god, but I'm not sure how I would go about that, to be honest.
What would you like to leave?
Is there a spot for offering?
Well, as you notice, when you're leaving, all the giant gods individually are on one knee to the All-Father, all with something raised before him.
And they're all
he has
weapons?
his hands held out.
And they're all holding up weapons.
Yes.
Then when we get out, I'll take a knee and hold up my gun.
Okay, Roland?
I was gonna do the same thing, take a knee, but I was gonna pull out the battle axe that I had and hold that
I
up.
didn't know you had a battle axe.
I got it from the orc in the caravan.
Okay, what about you, Vesper Lou?
What do we, I asked, Harshnag, what do we do here? I see them giving weapons, and I'm not a weapon.
He says that's their own offering.
I'll offer my rapier.
Hold your rapier up.
Not
All
the
right.
practice sword?
That's my sword. But my rapier was my sword before. Sentimental value.
Yeah.
I feel like an offering,
He offered his
if you don't
gun,
offer
I
your
offered
best thing, then it's bad.
You're
What about my
offering his
lamb?
weapon.
That's
All right.
what I used since the beginning.
Violin I'll never let go of, I hold it up.
You guys,
I feel like you gotta give something. to
so you guys all start to take a knee, and Harshnag has this wiry smile on his face. He kind of nods. You guys all kind of knee, hold up your items. Roland, Warren, Vesper. What about Luke? What about Arbustier? She hold up a weapon.
Yeah, she'll do her longsword.
All right. And Arbustier, all your weapons disappear.
All of them were just the ones we held up.
The ones you hold up.
Okay.
Luda, your violin is still in your hands.
The John's like, what the bloody hell? I can't play that.
Put all your weapons and
Does
disappear.
the sound desist for us?
No. Harshnag looks at you. Well, that's interesting.
I feel like if you're giving offering, you offer a piece of yourself. That's family heritage right there.
And he says, in a time of war,
Yes.
he just
Song and dance inspires people
he
to
just
fight.
nods and he just looks at you like with a lot of appreciation that you've paid this much respect. He doesn't look at you with disrespect. He looks at you all, but you could tell that maybe I should have offered a weapon. I mean, all the other giant gods are holding up weapons.
Yeah, they have all these cool weapons. I got a fucking scimitar.
You have a +1 longbow.
Yeah, you do have plus one
I
longbow.
don't ever use that though.
Well, you still could have you put it
The
up.
part of offering is part of your. I feel like it's part of yourself. That longbow is part of me.
But also, you gotta
I'm
think
taking
about
it
this.
back.
This is the temple of the Allfather. A giant temple. You need to offer something appealing to giants.
No, yeah. The longbow.
Very, very true. Hey, weapon's a weapon. The stone giant has a giant boulder. It's a thrown giant weapon. It's about as ranged as you get with a giant.
Everybody loves gold.
Everybody does like gold.
You can give a handful of gold.
Give me my gold.
Doesn't matter now.
Damn.
Too late.
You guys leave. Harshnag kind of holds the body over one hand. He pulls, and like I said, the doors come open, and this droning sound is just as loud outside as it is inside. Everybody, roll me a survival. I need at least 20.
That's not fair, man. I can't even get that on a nat 20.
Nope, I didn't get it.
Nobody got it.
Nobody at all.
No one.
All right, so
Fall off the ice bridge.
no.
Explode.
You guys cross down the hallway, down the massive expanse of the bridge over the gorge, because you can't bury this guy down, and unless you want to toss the body off the gorge.
What's Sturt's survival? Roll for Sturt.
Actually, that might not be disrespectful in some culture.
Okay, and then you head out like I said, over the bridge, over the gorge, through the cave. You make your way. You're in front of this cave. Harshnag tells you he dare not leave this body in a cave. So you travel days through the cave, and he's carrying this body around. Eventually, you make your way outside the cave. You guys are helping bury the body. He says a giant prayer. He sings a song. If you sacrificed a weapon, roll me a d4. Roland, what do you got?
1.
You get a blessing of health. Your constitution score increases by 2, up to a maximum of 22. That kind of benefits you after what we've had, conversation we've had.
Yeah.
Or 3. Your wisdom score increases by 2, to a maximum of 22. Blessing of understanding.
I no longer have a penalty.
I still have.
Vesper?
Me and RBC both got 1.
Blessing of health. Your constitution score increases by 2, up to a maximum of 22. You bury the fallen cloud giant. You take your rest through the night. Harshnag.
Once we bury the giant, you said Harshnag gave the giant prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Roland's gonna do the same. He's gonna give a prayer to Torm and to the Allfather.
All right. Like I said, you guys take your 8-hour long rest. Harshnag tells you he feels there is no need for watch. He feels the eyes of the Allfather upon him. He feels safe. Now, I don't know how you guys take that. That's completely up to you guys.
Rupert doesn't need sleep, so I'm down.
I trust him.
Luda, Vesper, Augustier.
Whatever the party says.
And they're aware throughout their rest anyways.
Yeah, I trust them, and also I want to, like when we make camp, I want to ask Harshnag more about the Allfather. That
Alright.
bigger god, I think.
I'll start working on number 4.
He just tells you the All-Father is basically the gods of all the giant gods. And then there's a giant god, basically like a under giant god for each subrace of giant gods. No one knows what his face looks like, so no one dare carve nor paint his face. That's why you always see him hooded. And because no giant dare disgraces him. No giant dare decides that he looks like their kind. It would be disgraceful.
Well, I'll ask him if it would be okay if I worship the All-Father.
He wouldn't stop you. He does not know if the All-Father would hear your prayers, though to bless you with such a boon, obviously, is a good sign. But as the night goes on, he'll talk to you about the All-Father and whatnot. You guys all take your long rest. You get up in the morning, your weapons appear by your side.
Oh, I missed you, gun.
Luda, how do you feel about all this? Does this bother you in any sense? Do you feel jealousy?
No, she wouldn't feel that. She felt like she did what Elven Heritage would do. You give part of yourself. She didn't know that she's supposed to get a weapon.
You wake up, pray. Everybody's praying except for Vesper, who practices.
Practice.
Roland, you got something to say?
Yeah, after the prayers, I'm gonna go ahead and summon my steed again.
All right. You get up, you guys get done praying, you're eating rations and whatnot. Harshnag tells you, I do believe this is where our road ends. He says, I must go to Hekaton's court. He's like, I must find the Storm Giant King. I feel that he is a key to all of this.
Well, this is the one that, not the one that stabbed the other giant, but the one that.
This is the one that's missing.
The missing king. Yeah.
The one that he asked about.
So while he goes to look for the missing king, we should go look to avenge Aragon?
You're gone.
Aragon?
Aragon or you're gone?
Aragon.
You're gone.
He's dead.
I
So,
put you're gone as in his ear was gone. Because it was dead. But
We're gonna get
he tells you that is a noble course. I mean, you did make a promise to avenge him. Doing so, the All-Father, seeing such a good deed, I'm sure is why he blessed you. He said,
with inspiration, yes.
says, maybe these acts will inspire all of giant kind to have faith in small folk. He said, through my centuries, you never seem to surprise me.
Well, you surprised the bloody hell out of us.
He has a pretty good laugh at that. Being a good dwarf, that is understandable.
Well, I'm gonna miss you, big guy.
And he says, I feel our paths will cross again.
I hope so.
He says,
Hopefully not on a wall.
he kind of looks around at the sky. This droning is still going on. He says, I promise you, we will cross paths again. This is far from over.
We'll keep on touch.
And he gives you a nod. He sticks his finger out to Vesper. She's going to fist bump it.
Yep.
And he takes the seashell, takes a deep breath in.
As he goes to leave, I give him another warm salute.
And he'll do it, and he blows into this conch. And he pops out of existence.
Oh, he saluted me back that time.
We're still here at the campsite, right?
Yeah, in the
Where we
snow.
buried the giant?
Yeah, where you buried the giant. You buried the giant off the distance and whatnot.
I'm gonna leave the great axe there with him.
What great your battle axe?
Yeah.
You're gonna like use it as a marker?
Yeah.
Because he's built a stone and like carved some stuff into it. Yeah, that's fine.
I gave it to the All-Father, didn't expect it back, so.
No, that's good. No.
But I feel like we should take his breastplate And
Well, he,
We already did.
Or we
I mean,
already
I'm
put that?
talking about. I think
no one asked for the oboe, and
Oh,
Harshnag took
I
off.
just assumed that we grabbed
Oh,
one.
No, he grabbed it. I thought that he
I
grabbed
thought
it.
Vesper
Oh,
grabbed it because
okay.
he said she was going for it.
Yeah, but that's what I told her. She couldn't pry
Yeah.
his fingers apart.
That's
And
fine. I think we
Harshnag
should
does.
take something back to
assumed
the
Harshnag was gonna need
village
it.
to,
It's a good point. You need to take the breastplate.
we should take it to the
I'll
village.
identify it.
It's +2 breastplate.
Buster breastplate, I'll put that shit on.
It's massive compared to you, but as soon as you touch it for identify, it shrinks to your size.
I'll wear it.
But
As a, because like it was that dude's and it's more memento thing than my half plate is.
As he puts it on, Vesper, once again, you see these runes. Now you read them, and it says Ild, but it says cloud, and the rune is on the middle of this breastplate.
Nice.
I just think we should take it back to the village when we find
Well, I'm worried it's by his father.
where they're from. That's what I'm saying.
I wanted him to end this battle some way.
Yeah.
All right, so now he's left you guys, and if you recall on your way here, he was literally cutting trenches in the snow for you guys.
Robot!
Hard trek back.
We're gonna be.
Well, you don't have to because he just kind of found an answer for you,
20 strength bear.
which is literally one less than Harshnag. So that's good.
I can sit on top and cast firebolt all day. Just,
So
I'm just gonna climb some bear, stick my hand out. It's about these burry bands.
so for about the next 3 days again, Rupert's digging through the snow. Like I
Yeah,
said,
boys,
these
it-
trenches keep the wind off of you guys, and you exit the spine of the world. Everybody roll me a perception. Sight there.
Damn it.
Hey, you can roll perception because this droning is still going on. Wait, no, the droning is ended. It ended after 3 days. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I forget. This is a 6-day trek out of here. The droning's in it. So your level of exhaustion is over.
I got 10.
10, I need 15. Luda?
22.
I think
I needed 22.
or Boostia got 20, and I got 13.
Okay, so everybody sees it, but you and Ord and Arusier, you guys leave.
Fireball.
Even though the snows have died, it's still late in the year. There's still snow on the ground in the north, but up through the cloudy skies, you guys see a giant red dot and what looks like a sailing ship suspended from it.